Hello everyone, I'm your king, Willis Mikky. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today I bring to you some Reddit stories. So let's check out this first story that is from r/AmITheJerk. Technically it is a different subreddit, but it is the same as Am I the Jerk? And this story does have an update, and this story is also titled, "Would I be the jerk to divorce my wife after she said she wanted to send our son to a conversion camp?" So, this is a pretty heavy situation, and I'm really confused and disgusted, not going to lie, because I never thought my wife was like this. My wife, 44 female, and I, 45 male, have been married for 14 years. We have 2 kids, a 16-year-old son, let's call him Noah, and a 12-year-old daughter. We've had our fair share of disagreements over the years, of course, but things have generally been smooth between us. Now, for the context, Noah came out as gay about a year ago. It was a surprise, and as hard as it was to accept, I love my kids more than anything and just want their happiness. My wife visibly didn't take it well though. She was upset and seemed to be going through a grieving period where she didn't want to talk about it. I tried to support Noah in every way I could, telling him I loved him no matter what, etc. My wife though, I could tell she wasn't on the same page. She would say things like, "It's just a phase," or "He needs help," but I brushed it off as her needing time. Fast forward to last week and we're having a conversation about Noah's future. Out of nowhere, my wife casually mentioned that she had been looking into conversion therapy camps and thought it might be the right solution. She said that Noah isn't truly gay and that he's just hasn't been shown the right path and that this could fix him. My blood ran cold, obviously. I was in shock. I immediately told her I didn't agree and that this is not something I could support. Duh. She got upset and said I was enabling Noah's confusion and that if I really cared about him, I would help him get better. What the hell is wrong with her? She was persistent, and no matter how much I tried to explain that conversion therapy is harmful, like I know those kids get abused, and often ended up either traumatized or ending themselves, and that I would never send our son to something like that, she won't back down. If I'm being 100% honest here, I don't even think I love her anymore. The fact she could be so heartless disgusts me. I know being gay is not easy, and people like her just make it even harder. I'm considering staying, only for our daughter's sake. But would it be okay if it means harming my son? It feels like a betrayal to Noah. I just don't think I can keep living with someone who thinks this is okay. Before I give my commentary, let's see what the community has to say about this situation. The first reply says, "Not the jerk, 100%. Noah's not broken. There's nothing to fix. Those conversion camps are hell on earth, and any parent who wants to send their child to one doesn't deserve to be a parent. Make sure you include it in the conditions of custody, that it is absolutely not permitted. Depending on where you are located, it might even be grounds to go full custody. Buckle up, OP. Your fight for your children's rights and well-being is just beginning." The next reply says, "Your wife needs to go to a camp that makes her less of a see you next Tuesday. No, you are not the jerk." The next reply says, "Conversion therapy camps should be illegal. There are in some states. They are child abuse 100%. Your wife will destroy your son if you don't do something about it. He made the brave decision to come out, and she is wanting to torture him because she can't accept it. You would be the jerk 1,000% if you don't get him away from her." The final reply says, "Wow, you're a great parent. Your wife is scum, not the jerk. Keep standing up for your kid against that evil moron." And now it's time for my commentary, and yeah, I totally agree, not the jerk. You would be the jerk if you didn't do anything, however. So, I come from a very fortunate place in life. Not because I grew up rich or anything like that, quite the opposite actually. But I grew up with a very positive family in that department of like very accepting of things like being gay, like being lesbian, stuff like that. My mother was very accepting of that because I think the way she grew up as well. My grandmothers, and then yes, I said grandmothers for a reason, on my father's side, because I consider both of them my grandmothers a lesbian couple. They've been a couple since as long as I can remember, since before I was even born. Some of my family members on my father's side are part of the community. I am a part of the community because I am bi. So I'm very fortunate to never have to be in that situation where the son has somebody they should realistically care about and trust wants to hurt them. That sucks, and I hate that for the son. So OP, please protect your son. He is the #1 priority here next to your daughter. So if your wife does not get it through her thick, stupid skull that her son is the way her son is and she should support, leave her. Because if you don't, she will. Not if, she will hurt him. Emotionally, mentally, possibly even physically if she gets her way and sends him to that stupid camp, which I've heard way too many stories about in the past. I think South Park did a parody of those camps before where the kids got sprayed with water hoses and stuff. I'm not sure if anybody remembers that. Yes, South Park is a weird reference to make here, but it's something similar like that, like one of those camps. So OP, protect your son, protect your kids, and get them away from that moron. Get them away from their mother. So now let's check out the update to see how this story ends. First of all, I would like to thank everyone here for all the help and advice I've gotten under my posts in DMs. Sorry if I couldn't answer to everyone here. There was too many effing people, lol. I just posted something about my wife wanting to send my son to a conversion camp 2 days ago. First of all, some people told me to show her videos and documentaries about what happens there. But this argument has been going on for more than a week now. I've shown her things and she won't budge. Really bad update if I'm being honest. So let's get into it. A lot of you told me to try to get him out of there ASAP. Y'all were definitely right. So yesterday, I took a day off and went to see an attorney just to get some information about divorce, etc. But after what happened, I'm 100% sure I want to divorce ASAP. Yesterday, I went to pick up Noah at his school, and as many of you suggested, we had a long discussion. I basically told him his mom and I might be getting a divorce because she wants to send him to conversion camp. But I can't accept that. I've talked with her many times and told him I'll probably go through with it. He looked really hurt. My heart broke all over again, but was very understanding and thanked me for standing up for him. I pulled him into a tight hug and told him I'll always love him no matter what, and that nothing is his fault. At that moment, he started crying because he was so glad at least I was on his side, and I'm very pissed. So sorry if I don't make sense, but apparently his mom had been pressuring him for months. She planned dates with girls to try to fix him. And he had to lie, saying he was going to a friend's house instead. She was saying he needs help, and as much as she loves him, he needs to get his condition cured. I feel so bad because I've been so oblivious to all of that, and I have failed to protect him all of that time. How do you make your 16-year-old son go through that? So, when we got home yesterday, I can't lie, I was furious and confronted her right there and then. At first, she was trying to explain she was doing it for him, but her speech quickly turned into slurs, and it was clear she was just ashamed of having a gay son. In the end, I told her I went to see an attorney, and that learning it was all just confirmed for me that I want a divorce. She got really angry, calling me a delusional disgrace. We argued a lot, and at some point, Noah tried to separate us, but my wife punched him multiple times. She was saying disgusting things like, he's a dirty slur, and that it's all his fault we're getting divorced, because his filth corrupted me. My daughter, who was probably in her room, came to see what all the commotion was about, and was rightfully horrified, and quickly called 911 when I told her to. Long story short, the cops were there and took her away. She was very reluctant to go because she was not in the wrong and they needed to let her go. I explained everything to my daughter and she didn't want anything to do with her mom anymore. Right now, I'm in the hospital because my soon-to-be ex-wife broke my rib while I was restraining her. I should have probably went as soon as the cops took her, but I don't care. My son was crying with a black eye and split lip. They are checking for any concussions, and obviously, the only thing I care about was to comfort him because I can't even imagine what it can feel like being beaten up by your mom for being gay. I'm planning to file for full custody, of course, and my kids don't want to see her ever again anyways. Given all the charges she's facing, I hope she won't stand a chance against me. I just sent mail to my attorney, and I hope the proceedings will be fast. I've also thought about getting CPS involved, but I'm not sure they'll really help. Like, I can't understand how you can grow so much resentment of your own kid because of something they can't control. Even I had pretty strong opinions about it, but as a father, it's my role to unconditionally love my kids. And so I learned about the topic and changed my way of seeing the world for him. It took some time to grasp it, but I never doubted 1 second the love I have for my child. I thought it was the same for my wife. Obviously not. And now let's move on to the final post that also has an update. And this story is titled, "Am I the jerk for considering divorcing my wife because she told my sister's husband that my sister cheated on him?" My wife and I have been married for 14 years, and we have 3 kids. My wife has always been a snooper and nosy, but it didn't really bother me until recently. My sister and I have always been close since childhood, and we tell each other everything. Many years ago, my sister confessed to me that she cheated on her husband in an emotional affair, which lasted for a month. She was in tears and really remorseful. Her marriage was going through its difficulties. We talked a lot about it, and after the talks, my sister joined therapy, became sober, and is living a really happy life with her husband now. My wife never knew about this because I always make sure to keep my conversations private. However, a couple of weeks ago, I was a bit drunk and got lazy and wasn't as careful when speaking to my sister. And my sister was talking about how that was the turning point in her life and she couldn't be happier now. But my wife overheard this conversation and asked me about it the next day. I told my wife it's none of your business, but my wife kept talking about how it's not fair to the husband and that the husband deserves to know. I told my wife to let it go, but my wife instead called my sister's husband directly and told him what she heard. I was in shock and really angry at my wife. My sister's marriage is on the rocks now, and her husband is seriously considering divorce. I told my wife that if my sister goes through divorce, then I would go through a divorce too. My wife was shocked and apologized a lot and said she would never do this again. But I don't think this is repairable. My wife is begging me to at least think of our kids and how disruptive a divorce would be. The atmosphere at our house is really intense now, and I'm no longer sleeping in the same room as my wife. I'm refusing to talk to her or have her breakfast or dinner when she makes it. I instead just go out to eat. My wife has cried a few times, but I think those are empty tears. Am I the jerk for considering divorce? Before I give my commentary, let's see what the community has to say about this situation. The first reply says, "I wonder what advice would you give your sister if the role was reversed? To me, you sound like a cheat and the jerk." The next reply says, "You are the jerk. You should feel ashamed for condoning cheating and should have forced your sister to tell her husband. I'm sure if you were the victim, your reaction would be 100% different." And somebody replies underneath that with, "I agree. By keeping your sister's secret, you were enabling the situation and protecting her at the expense of your brother-in-law's right to know. If the roles were reversed, I'm sure you'd feel completely different about it. Your wife might have been in the wrong in how she handled it, but she was trying to do what she felt was right, OP, not the jerk." And the final reply says, "You are the jerk, and so is your sister. Honestly, if I found out that my husband helped cover for his sister's infidelity, I'd be the one considering divorce first. I am not okay with cheaters or anyone who thinks that cheating is fine and goes with those lies. My mom said the worst part about my dad's infidelity is that every in-law, mutual friend, and all of my dad's co-workers smiled to her face at family junctions, family gatherings, and work events, all while knowing exactly what my dad was doing. My sister is my best friend, and honestly, her husband is a jerk. But if she was cheating, I would urge her to fess up, or I would let him know. Because as though he may be in good conscience, I wouldn't be able to sit across from him every barbecue, Thanksgiving, birthday, celebration, etc. and smile and be pleasant with him, knowing my sister was betraying him / had betrayed him. And now it's time for my commentary, and OP, you and your sister are jerks in this scenario. Now, this would be a different story if she had told her husband. If she had told her husband there's an emotional affair going on, I want to separate myself from this affair partner, I'm going to do every steps in my power to separate myself, then it would be different. She gives him the option, she's trying to make things right, they go to therapy, they do everything possible, and if the husband's able to trust, the husband's able to trust her again. If he doesn't, it's over. That's not what happened. This is fresh in his mind, so this feels like a betrayal in the fact that you knew is a slap to the face. Your wife, I think, has good moral integrity because, I'ma say, if this was my sibling, right? Because I have multiple siblings, and I find out if they're cheating on their partner, I am going to talk to them. You know what you're doing is wrong. You should tell. You should tell this person, you should tell your partner what you're doing, because you know what you're doing is wrong, and I will not support what you're doing because, once again, you know it's wrong. And now I'm close to my siblings, I really am. But if I found out my sibling was being cheated on, I am not talking to the person and saying, you should tell them. I'ma tell them first. So it is a bias there because I'm very close to my siblings, of course. But at the end of the day, I have my moral integrity. If this person is your long-term partner and you cheat, that is wrong. They have the right to know because they should make the decision, not you. Also, it's the fact that you are now emotionally neglecting your wife. Hopefully you're not doing the same thing with your kids, but you are not speaking to her. You are not eating what she makes because you're mad that she revealed that your sister's a cheater. To me, an emotional affair and a physical affair, they are the same. But the only difference is I feel like an emotional affair is slightly more forgiving long as you take the steps to not go forward. That's not what your sister did. So OP, I'm gonna give you and your sister both 3 out of 5 jerks. And for the husband, for the sister's husband and your wife, 0 out of 5 jerks. But let's check out this update to see how this story ends. My sister's husband has decided that he wants to work through their marriage in marriage counseling. That was a huge relief to me, and I'm confident their marriage will survive. I'm really happy about it. As for my wife, I told her she's very lucky because if my sister went through a divorce, then I would have filed for divorce too. I told my wife this is her final chance in that she has to change her nosy behavior and learn to mind her own business. My wife was very grateful and promised that she would no longer be nosy. Before I give my commentary, let's see what the community has to say about this update, because I know I have a lot to say. The first reply says, "None of this will last. No wishes of good luck here." The next reply says, "Both you and your sister are disgusting. Your wife should leave you for covering for a cheater, and your brother-in-law should leave your trash sister." The next reply says, "Okay, so what if a few years later it doesn't work out between your sister and her husband and they get divorced? Are you going to suddenly decide to divorce your wife even if she kept her promise? You're the jerk because you're already planning to divorce your wife anyway if things didn't work out between your sister and her husband." The next reply says, "After how you treated her, I'm surprised she even stayed with you, much less was grateful. You hid cheating. How can she ever trust you?" The next reply says, "You're a loser. No human being can ever be considered lucky for being married to you." The next reply says, "Can you please divorce your poor wife? You don't deserve a partner. You don't act like one." The next reply says, "You're the jerk. Your wife just needs to get ahead of this and divorce you." The next reply says, "You're still a shady jerk. She and your brother-in-law both deserve better. Your family sucks." The next reply says, "You're the jerk. Your wife did the right and moral thing. She also did your sister a huge service. The world would be a far better place if people stopped suborning cheating in marriage. Once again, you are the jerk. By the way, if I knew your wife was sleeping with other men, should I tell you?" And somebody replies underneath that with, "Don't bother. He's a cuck." The next reply says, "Effing trash. I hope your wife divorces you." And the final reply says, "Your sister cheated. Her husband deserved the truth. To be honest, I hope your wife does what your sister did and no one tells you, because that's what you deserve." Here's what pisses me off about this update. The fact that he says the wife is lucky. What is she lucky about in this scenario? Like, she gets a shit husband? She gets a crappy husband? That's it? That's what she's lucky about? To get a husband that will emotionally abuse her to protect somebody else? You chose this person to be your wife, and you choose to treat her like this. Now I get sibling bond, sibling relationship. I get that. I have multiple siblings myself, as I said earlier. But I will still, at the end of the day, if I had a wife, if I had a girlfriend, if I had a husband, if I had a boyfriend, I would treat them the way I would treat anybody I love. And if this is the way you treat the people you love, I would hate the way you treat people you hate. Oh wait, OP, question. Do you hate your wife? Is that it? Maybe you have some resentment towards your wife. Oh, maybe because she outed your cheating sister? Maybe that was it? Maybe that's the reason why you hate your wife. She's lucky. She should be lucky that I am giving her her final chance. Whatever, dude. Whatever. What a joke. What a joke this guy is. And look, it was the sister's husband's choice to stay. And maybe this is some 4D chess. Maybe he's weighing his options, or maybe he is trying to forgive her. I don't know. I'm just going off what OP said in his post. Personally, for me, I would not have stayed with her. Because, granted, while it was just an emotional affair and nothing happened and she does feel bad, it's the fact that she never told me. Why did I have to learn this from my sister-in-law? Is a slap to my face. So personally, I could not stay. And the fact that my brother-in-law also knew of this. I have two people I can't trust. One is my wife, one is my brother-in-law. Realistically, there's one person there that I should always be able to trust, and that should be the wife. However, because she had an emotional affair and never told me, never gave me the option to make the choice of our relationship, is a big FU. That's what that is. That is an FU. And the more I think about OP, the more I get pissed. Because OP made the choice to hide, to actively hide this secret from his wife for, what, a year? That's what annoys me. And your wife this time wasn't snooping around. You said, oh, I got careless, I got reckless. And your wife has a good moral conscience. OP, the final thing I will say here. I hope your wife leaves you. Just like all these comments have said, you suck. You suck, absolutely. I hope your wife blindsides you with divorce papers. Because it's the fact that you were treating her like this for exposing your sister who did not tell her own husband about the affair. You are mad about that, and rather than the thing you suggested to your sister, you do with your wife. You go to counseling, you go to therapy. You immediately jumped to the final option. That final option was divorce. You were willing to divorce your wife because the husband of your sister might divorce your sister. It was none of the wife's business. You're not talking to her. She should feel lucky. She should feel grateful. Whatever, buddy. God, you're so annoying. So OP, I'm gonna ramp up your score. What did I give him before? I can't even remember. But I'm gonna give you, for at least being emotionally abusive towards her, because that is what you're doing. And also, OP can't take any criticism because OP has not replied to any of the replies down below. Because I went to his page, his Reddit account, did not reply to anything. I'm not even sure if he would look because he doesn't have the balls to, clearly. So OP, I'm gonna give you, I want to give you 4, maybe 4 out of 5 is harsh. No, I would be lying to myself. 4 out of 5 jerks for you because you are so manipulative and it annoys me and it sickens me. I hope your wife divorces you. If the husband of your sister wants to stay married, okay, it's his choice. But you, in the way you're treating your wife, disgusts me. So, OP, I wish you no good luck in your relationship with your wife. And I wish your wife all the best in her future. And your kids as well. Screw you, OP. But hey, that was the end of this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's stories. I enjoyed reading them to you. So let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of today's stories? Have anything similar ever happened to you guys? Let me know that in the comment section down below. But for now, I've been your king, Willis Mikky, and your king is signing off.